Paramparhyaya Vidmahe Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guruhu Prachodayate Om Yoga Maharshi Dr. Swami Gitananda Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Namaste, Swagatam, Vanakkam, and welcome to our Diwali special Scintillating Saturday morning session. And we continue with our efforts to spread the message of classical Rishi culture yoga as codified by Yoga Maharshi Dr. Swami Gitananda Giri Guru Maharaj, and sustained and taken forward by the dynamic energy of Pudurai Shakti, the living Siddha of Pondicherry, our beloved Ammaji. Diwali, as you all know, is quite a celebration in this part of the world, and you can hear the background sounds of all the firecrackers being burst and celebrations going on. And in all the noise and in all the action, we must not forget the primary message of Diwali, which is shedding light on darkness. Removing darkness through light is the whole principle of Diwali. Let's not forget what is the principle in all our commercialization of this wonderful celebration. Diwali is an occasion for us to understand the greatness of the light within us. Our inner light is so great. Our inner light is self-resplendent. That is what that Antaratma is. The Atma doesn't need another light. It is pure light personified. Continuing with our sessions, we have been doing sessions on Hasta Mudras, the hand gestures. And there's just so much to learn that this seems to be going on and on and on and on, like some of those battery advertisements which go on and they never run out of energy. You cannot run out of energy when you talk about the mudras and when you talk about especially Hasta Mudras, because the hands are the window to the heart. The hands are the window to the heart. And that is why so many ladies in India will be making such beautiful delicacies for Diwali with the hands. Because when you make it, you put your heart into it. The hands are the extension of the heart. And you put your heart into what you make. And when you serve that beautiful Diwali sweet and savories and the meal to your family members, what more do you want? What more do you need? Then the joy of everyone eating a heartfelt, heartful meal. Kara, hasta, two words. And with the mudra, we are gesturing our intent. What is it that we want to share with the world? What is it we want to share with ourselves? Sometimes I wonder whether we know what we want to share with ourselves and what we want to share with the world. Clarity of communication, which is where we invoke Lord Shiva. Vak Vishuddhaya Dhimahi. Vak Vishuddhaya. May our communication, Vak, may that communication be of the highest purity. Vishuddha. Vak Vishuddhaya Dhimahi, as we invoke Lord Shiva through the Vishuddha Chakra. We have looked at mudras like Chin Mudra, Chinmaya Mudra, Adi Mudra, and then the Brahma Mudra, where we have brought the two fists together, bringing the knuckles together at the navel. And if your knuckles don't come together, for most of us, you cannot get all of them together at the same time. What you are going to be doing is you are going to be focusing on the side of the fingers. And those sides, when you focus, especially on the front, you focus towards the front, automatically you have the mudra as it should be. Okay? The risk in communication is that we always are thinking of these knuckles. Now, these knuckles are not really going to oppose, because if these oppose, these won't, and it's not really the knuckles. It's more, you mean this region is what you are talking about here with Brahma Mudra. So just a clarification on that, because some questions have come up. Today I wanted to add a discussion on another mudra which is very specific, and it is called the Shunya Mudra. Shunya means zero or vacuum. Shunya. And I would like to remember on this occasion the great Indian scientist Rishi Aryabhatta. Because Aryabhatta is the one who actually invented zero. And this Bhattaji, who was Aryabhatta, he invented zero and gave zero to the world. If we didn't have zero in the world today, imagine what all the banks would do and all the economic agents would do without a zero to add behind a 1 or a 2. How many zeros we like to add after numbers? The concept of zero was given to us by Aryabhatta. And in school we had a dear colleague of mine, and he was a very good cricketer with us. But what happened was, for many matches, 7 or 8 matches, he kept on getting out at zero without opening his account, as we say in cricket. And we actually gave him the name Aryabhatta because he had so many zero scores in that season. So he lost his name and became Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta gave us zero, one of the great contributions India has given the world. Amongst innumerable contributions, many which are not recognized. Indian numerals went to Arabia and they became Arabic numerals. And then when they realized they originally came from India, now it's called Indo-Arabic numerals. Why don't just call them Indic numerals? Lot of stuff like that. Coming back, Shunya means zero. Shunya means vacuum. Shunya means the absence of. Na shunyam na cha shunya madvaita katvat. Katham sarva vedanta. As Adi Shankara tells us, na shunyam na cha shunya. When talking about the Atma, he negates everything, and he negates, it's neither the zero nor the absence of the zero. Neither the vacuum nor the absence of the vacuum. Na shunyam na cha shunya. Madvaita, ma advaita katvat. Because it is advaita, it doesn't allow for dvaita. It is a state of oneness. Such a beautiful concept that is there. Now coming to Shunya, Shunya means the absence, the vacuum, the zero, nihilence, Shunya. And we have a mudra in the Gitananda tradition called Shunya Mudra. So there is a mudra where you have the flat palm with the thumb extended like this. It's not like this, but it's like this. In dance, this is called Ardha Chandra, and we use it to show the moon for Lord Shiva. Chandra, Ardha Chandra. This is the half moon when we want to show. So you have this type of shape, an L shape. So it is not like this. This is not Shunya Mudra. This is Shunya Mudra. And Shunya Mudra happens when you place it down on your lap. But unlike the other mudras, Chin Mudra we placed facing down, Chinmaya Mudra, Adi Mudra, and then Brahma Mudra. The Shunya Mudra is placed with the palms facing upward. Palms facing up is Shunya Mudra. So when you place your hands on your thighs, palm facing up, it becomes Shunya Mudra. Now, Shunya means vacuum, Shunya means absence. So what happens is when you perform the Shunya Mudra, you are sending a communication to your own respiratory center, that brainstem respiratory center, in the pons and medulla, in yoga termed the Aprakasha Bindu. That Aprakasha Bindu is being told by the Shunya Mudra, intrapersonal communication. Mudras are intrapersonal, interpersonal and transpersonal. The intrapersonal communication you are giving is saying, shut down the lung on that side. Not really what most people want to do. As it is, their lungs don't work. They already shut down. They don't need to do a Shunya Mudra. They're already having a shut down lung. What the Shunya Mudra does is, when you do it on the right, it says, the right lung, I don't want to breathe into the right lung. When you do it on the left, you are saying, I don't want to breathe into the left lung. Now comes the question, why should you not want to breathe into one lung? And we are going to come to that, because there are specific techniques we want to do. We want to become aware of the microscopic areas in your lung. These areas called bronchopulmonary segments. The bronchopulmonary segments in your lung, and there are 10 on each lung, are very similar to the sections and subsections we use in Vibhaga pranayama, where we look at the low lung, mid lung and upper lung, and we look at the front side back, front side back, front side back, giving us 9 areas of Vibhaga that are very, very similar to the 10 bronchopulmonary segments. So the yogis, they don't want to just breathe, they want to know where they are breathing into. How much they are breathing into that Vibhaga. Not just breathe into any part of the lung, they want to breathe into a specific part of the lung. So the yogis, they said, I want to be able to mindfully, consciously, with awareness, direct my breathing into certain parts of the lung and not be an unconscious, subconscious, spinal cord mentality who is being governed by the brainstem. I want to be the master of my breathing, not let the brainstem be the master. Again, the change from the back of the head to the front of the head. Huge journey of conscious evolution and transformation. Because as long as you are being governed by your brainstem, it is survival mode. The moment you come here, you are coming to living mode. Mindful living mode is here. Survival mode is here. And the yogis don't want to be stuck in the survival mode. That everybody is already stuck in it. All the thick-skulled, flat-nailed, featherless bipeds. Now I have added headless chickens, and I have also added tailless lizards. This is all that stuff we have. Remember, lizard comes from the reptilian family, so tailless reptiles. You want to transcend that. Yoga is about transcending the lower so that the higher can manifest. That is what Diwali is all about. Transcend the lower darkness, the tamasika guna. Grow through the rajas and manifest the sattva. But as you can hear with all the firecrackers, that is why I came inside. We have had a huge rain last night. The whole deck is wet. And all this noise out there, I thought, let me come inside the hut. I'll be with Swamaji and Ammaji. And you get to hear me a bit more. But in the background, you can hear the battlefield of Diwali here. Everybody burning up cash. The time where cash becomes smoke and ash. Cash becomes ash. C-A-S-H becomes A-S-H. Cash becomes ash. Instantly in Diwali. Battlefield out there. Lot of fun. As a kid, I remember it was a lot of fun, and it's nice in its own way, and we celebrate. We need to also respect others and respect especially the other animals. Usually our dogs, they hide during the season. But this morning, Bukash was running around and he was very happy. So I think he's one of those crazy dogs who loves firecrackers. He was like, hey, it's Diwali, all that firecrackers going off. Hey, I'm awake. Aren't you happy today? He was the opposite of the normal dog. Bukash. It's quite amazing. We have had people in the ashram who have worked in the military. And the moment Diwali comes, these guys cannot sleep because, it reminds you of all those gunshots going off over your head and on your back. Once you know what it is, what is the difference? If you know it is Diwali, you do not get affected by it. But if you don't know it's Diwali, you think, oh my God, we have a terrorist attack. The neighboring, very friendly country, peace-loving country has suddenly decided to attack India. If you don't know what is happening, but if you know it's Diwali, you say, oh, this is Diwali. Fine, no issue. Let everybody have the fun turning cash into ash. No issues. That's their choice. We like to we'll do a bit of that, but we light beautiful lamps and we'll have a small celebration this evening with our lamps. Taking the lamps around the ashram, chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And we do this going around the ashram. We'll do it this evening, and we have decked up Ammaji's room so she can enjoy Diwali also and have a nice time. The yogis don't want to be caught in survival mode. We have spent enough lifetimes caught in survival mode. It is said you have to take 8.4 million lifetimes to go through 8.4 million different type of life forms. And that is why there are 8.4 million asanas according to our tradition. Each life form has its own state of being, which is its asana. Asana is a state of being. Swamiji used to ask his students, what is your asana? What is your asana? Meaning, what is your state of being where you are stable and at ease with yourself? That is your asana. You are stable and at ease with yourself. So each life form has a niche where it is at ease with itself. That is its asana. 8.4 million. So by the time you get a chance to be born human, at least close to 8.4 million, because the human is towards the end of it. In the creation of the planet, we are in the last few minutes of a 24-hour clock on this planet. Same thing in the life cycle. Yes, as Gurulin has said, asi, to be. Asana comes from asi, which means to be. Not to do, to be. When you are being yourself, you are established in your own asana. Add asana to your name and that is your personalized asana. When you are being yourself, not trying to be somebody else or be caught up in the doings of the modern world. The yogis want to move from survival mode to mindful living mode. So, we say in the lungs there are the vibhaga. There is the front, side, back, front, side, back, front, side, back. And we say we want to be able to not only breathe. When we do the Sparsha Mudra, we are doing Adam pranayama. We do the Madhyam pranayama. We do the Adhyam pranayama. We do it in the front, we do it in the side, we do it in the back, front, side, back, front, side, back. We are doing all of that. Now we say with the mudras, Chin Mudra, breathe into the low. Chinmaya Mudra, breathe into the mid. Adi Mudra, breathe into the upper. Brahma Mudra or Mahat Yoga Mudra, low, mid, high, all comes together. Now we say, how do you do the mudra? To breathe specifically into the right lower side. Okay? Now, for those of you who are not used to this, these videos on Facebook come reversed because of the mirror image. Later on YouTube, it's the correct side. So this is my right, okay? You'll see that all the images are reversed, okay? I want to breathe into my right lower lobe. This is what mindfully I want to do. I'm going to breathe, but I want to breathe primarily. I want to be able to mindfully, because where the mind goes, the prana flows. Yato mana tata prana. What we want to do is, we want to very specifically channelize the pranic flow to the lower right side. Okay? So what do? I say, fine, on this side, I'm going to do the chin mudra. So when I do the chin mudra on the right, what am I doing? I am saying I want to breathe into the right lower. But if I do chin mudra on the left also, it's both the lower. So what do I do in the left? I do the Shunya Mudra. So if I do chin mudra and Shunya Mudra, so whichever side I'm doing chin mudra, I'm breathing into the lower, and Shunya is saying I don't want to breathe into the other, and immediately what is happening is, when I breathe in and out now, my energy, my mind is channelizing the flow of the breath, and through the breath is the vehicle for the pranic flow into the right lower part. Say I want to do left lower, change it, reverse it. Chin mudra with the left, Shunya mudra with the right. And when I do this, my left lower lobe, it is where the flow is happening. Say I want right mid. For mid, you have to do chin maya mudra. You don't want the other side, Shunya mudra. You want into the left mid, chin maya mudra on the left, Shunya mudra on the right. You want into the right upper, Adi mudra with Shunya mudra. Left upper, Adi mudra with Shunya mudra. So each of these areas, I can be specifically working on them by the play, the interplay between Chinmaya and Adi Mudra for the low, mid and upper part of the lungs, and the respective Shunya Mudra, so that I can actually choose which of the subsections, which of the bronchopulmonary segments, which of the vibhaga I want to have the flow maximized into. Now, when you are breathing, air is going to go into various parts of your lungs. What we are talking about is where the air will primarily go, where the maximum flow is going to go. How you are channelizing using the mind. Because the most powerful tool we have is the mind. And the mudras are giving an opportunity for the mind force to flow without interruption. That is why the mudras are sealing the energy. S-E-A-L-I-N-G. Not sealing as the ceiling on the top of your room. Not C-E-I. S-E-A-L. Seal. What are you doing? You are sealing the energy so that there is no loss of energy. You want your communication. Mudra is communication. You have sealed your communication so that exactly what you are thinking is going to happen, because the energy has been sealed to flow in that way and not just flow in a haphazard way. And that is why when you do the mudra, along with that, when you focus the mind, you have just won your Diwali jackpot. So how do you do that? Well, what you would do is that you would come into the Vajrasana, which is the preferred posture for all our breathing activities. And in the Vajrasana, you are placing your hands down on your lap. You are placing your hands down on your lap. If I do Chin Mudra on this side and Shunya Mudra on this side, just see if you can see it a bit better. The side that I am doing Chin Mudra, I am going to be focusing the lower lung there. And when I do Shunya Mudra, I am saying I don't want to breathe into this part. I want to be very specific which side I'm breathing into. So when I breathe out, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you are doing is you are amazingly starting to focus where you really want to send the energy. Say I want to send into the left mid. Okay? So left mid is Chinmaya. You don't want the right mid, so Shunya. Remember, the thumb has to be out. It has to be stretched out like this to be Shunya Mudra. This is not Shunya Mudra, it has to be like this. And Chinmaya Mudra for the mid chest. Okay? Now what am I doing? When I start to breathe, I am focusing on my left mid-lobe region. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. A beautiful flow. A very, very beautiful flow is happening. A very beautiful flow is happening into that region. Because I have chosen what is my communication today. There is no miscommunication. There is pure communication. Vak is Vishuddha. Because you have used the mudra, you have said, I want to breathe into the lower, I want to breathe into the middle, I want to breathe into the upper part. You have given a clear signal. You have used the Shunya Mudra to say a certain part I don't want to breathe into. And by doing this, you can start to work through all the different parts, and we do what is called Pradakshina pranayama. Pradakshina means to go clockwise. Circumambulate a sacred space. When you go clockwise around, it is called Pradakshina. The anti-clockwise is called Apradakshina. A means the opposite. Pradakshina, Apradakshina. So Pradakshina is when you are going clockwise. So you can do Pradakshina pranayama, a very specific pranayama of this tradition, where you start to breathe. You can breathe into the low, then you can breathe into the low, the mid, the upper, lower and mid. And you are creating a very beautiful Pradakshina by channelizing your mind force, the Mana Shakti, the Shakti of the Manas, Mano Shakti. I think it should be grammatically. Mana Shakti, I think it would become Mano Shakti. That Shakti of the Manas, that mind power is being channelized so that the Prana Shakti can move into that specific region in a clockwise way, and energy in our chakras always moves clockwise. The chakric energy is a clockwise energy. And that is why the Pradakshina pranayama is a very specific pranayama of this tradition, where we do this. Now you have to be very careful. Many times people think they are being very spiritual And you find them sitting with both the hands up in Shunya Mudra like this. Be careful of that. Because if you put both the hands in Shunya Mudra, you are telling your lungs, shut down completely. We have to be very careful with our gestures. But you know what? We bring our hands together like this. You bring your hands together like this. When you say, I don't have anything and I want to receive something. Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi. Give me Bhiksha. You open your palms like this. The two Shunya Mudras coming together to say, I have nothing. Please you offer me. That is fine. But if you place the two Shunya Mudras on your thighs like this and you sit for deep contemplation, the lungs are going to say, this person doesn't want to breathe at all. So one has to be very careful. Power of the Shunya Mudra is amazing. It is a very powerful mudra. Use it with caution. Practice. Do your sadhana. There is nothing that can replace one sadhana. There are no shortcuts. When you do the sadhana, you start to realize, yes, this can happen. And I always tell the story of Hariharan in Switzerland, Locarno, who after spending 2 years with us in Pondicherry, went back and was gung-ho with all this information. And was talking to an old childhood friend of his who was a medical doctor. And he said, we can do this and all. And the doctor said, you cannot. When you breathe, you just breathe. And so Hariharan said, okay, fine, I'll offer you a free yoga class. People always like free yoga classes, right? He said, I'll offer you a free yoga class. So the guy said, okay, I'll come. And they started doing this with the mudras and the chin mudra and all. And that medical doctor got totally zonked off. He was like, seriously? I can see it happening. I can feel it happening. This is happening. But as a medical doctor, I just cannot understand what is happening. He says, oh my God, what is happening? It is amazing when you work on it. Just doing the mudras, breathing, let the breath flow. Let the mind guide that flow of the breath. And through that, the Mana Shakti and the Prana Shakti coming together, giving you that life force, enabling you to mindfully choose how you want to breathe. You are not being told how to breathe by that brainstem little guy in the box down there. It is not that little guy in the box down there who will tell you how to breathe and how to live. You choose up here. The elevated consciousness can make the choice. I will choose how I'm going to breathe. I will choose how I'm going to think. I will choose how I'm going to live. That is the power of choice, the superpower of being human. With those thoughts for Diwali today, wishing my extended Gitananda Yoga family, the Gitananda Yoga Parivar all over the world, a very happy Diwali, a time for us to connect to the light within us. We are all beings of light, but it is clouded with a lot of other stuff. And as Patanjali Maharishi tells us, Tatakshiyate prakasha avaranam. Through the practice of pranayama especially, pranayama sadhana enables us to remove that dark shroud that has been covering the inner effulgence. Prakasha avaranam is kshiyate through pranayama. So let this become an option that you make in your life, an option you take in your life, a conscious choice you make in your life to remove that which is not you, so that that which is you, that beautiful light that is you, can shine bright in your life, in the lives of others around you, and maybe in this whole world too. That is my prayer, that is my wish, that is my blessing for Diwali on behalf of the Gitananda Yoga Parapara. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino bhavantu sarve janaha. Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Om